Hi everyone! So in today's video, we are going to talk about breaking down yoga pose, and the highlight is on Warrior 3 or Virabhadrasana 3. And I'd like to invite you to check out the other videos talking about Warrior 1 and Warrior 2. And today we'll just focus on this standing pose, which is also a balancing pose. So to work on Warrior 3, since it is a standing and a balancing pose, let's grab a chair and then use that so that we don't have to worry about balancing yet, and then we can focus on the lifted leg. Okay? So you'll place your chair, make sure it's on your mat so it doesn't slip. Okay? And then we'll bring our hands onto the seat. So making sure that your hands are secure on your chair. Okay, spread the fingers wide, and then bring your feet hip-width apart. Okay, and then we'll start to balance. So I'll balance first on my right leg. Okay, so press your weight down on your right foot, and then we'll start to lift the left leg up. Okay, so normally in Warrior 3, what happens is tendency for most is to turn out at the hip or open the hip, and this is essentially a different pose. So what we want is that there's effort of the back hip. So in my case, my left hip, the left hip is rolling down, okay, towards the floor. So when I roll my left hip down, you'll also notice that my toes will start to point down. Okay, and then from here, okay, we'll just hold, getting used to this sensation. Okay, and then for the lifted leg, you can choose to flex the foot or maybe point the toes. And then see, maybe differentiate how that feels for you, if it makes it more accessible to access the lifted leg. Okay, one more breath here. And then exhale, we'll lower down the left leg. Okay, you can give your hips a shake. And then let's take that on the other side. Okay, balancing now on my left leg. Okay, ground through that left foot. And then as you inhale, we'll start to lift the right leg up. Okay. And then notice again, since we don't have to worry about balancing yet, you can differentiate, maybe turn the hip out, okay? Just see how that feels, or how different it is from trying to roll that right hip down, okay? And then as you roll the right hip down, notice if the leg starts to fall. Can you try to kick that leg up as the right hip tries to roll down? Okay, and then hold here. Again, either flexing the foot or maybe pointing. See how that feels for you. One more breath in. And then exhale, we'll slowly release. And then we'll give the legs a shake. Okay. So for this next set, so that we still work on the lifted leg in Warrior 3, we'll work with a band. Okay, so if you have a resistance band, we'll use that, or you can use a belt. Okay. So I'm going to loop the band on my left foot. Okay. So I'll just make a knot. Make sure it's secure on the arch of your foot. Okay. Just get that in there. Make a knot. Okay. And then we'll set up again how we started. Okay. So you'll layer or line up the band so that your right foot can step on it. Okay? And then from here, go ahead, bring your hands again onto the seat. Okay? And then this time, before we lift the left leg up, already engage the zipper. Find the brace at the belly. Find the zipper. Hold that. Push away from the chair. And then as you inhale, we'll start to lift the left leg up. So in this case, I need to release some slack from the right foot so that I can lift the left leg up. Okay. So the band, okay, choose any amount of resistance that you prefer. So notice if the band is shorter, it will give you more resistance. Okay. And then hold here. So notice again how it's easy to turn the left hip open, but what we want is keeping that left hip down as the left leg tries to kick back. And then now that we've added resistance, you'll feel your hamstrings work. Breathe here. One more breath in. and then exhale, we'll slowly release. Okay, give the legs a shake. Okay. And then to balance that off, let's do that on the other side. So just sit on your chair, take out the band, and then insert your other foot. Okay. In this case, the right foot. And then we'll again secure the band on the left leg. Okay. So now that I know I need a bit of slack on the band, okay. And then if you want to build strength here in this pose or in this asana, know that you can shorten the resistance band. Okay. So set up again, push away from the chair, brace at the belly, and then as you inhale, see how much you can keep the right hip rolling down as you kick the right leg back. Hold here and breathe. Okay. So right thigh is pressing up, but the hip is rolling down. Okay. And then this time we'll talk about the standing leg. Okay. You have the option to always bend maybe 10% or slightly for balance, and then hold here. So even though we're bringing the attention to the lifted leg, it's also a lot of work for the standing leg. Okay, one more breath here. And then as you exhale, we'll slowly release. And then we'll give the legs a shake. Okay. And then from here, let's take out the band and then we'll work on the arms. So now that we know what we need to work for our hips and the legs, let's talk about the arms and what's going on at the arms. But we'll still use the chair. Okay, so set up first, hands on the chair. Okay, we'll balance again. Okay, so ground your right leg down as you start to lift the left leg up. So remember the resistance band. Remember the work of the back hip rolling down. Okay, and then from here, you can play first. Maybe come up to the fingertips. Okay, or maybe just balance on one hand first. Okay, maybe find half prayer pose here. Okay, and then see how that feels. Okay, so there's a little bit of a seesaw action once your hand start to lift off from the chair. Okay, and then your standing leg will feel this more. One more breath, and then exhale, you can release. Okay, lower down the left leg. Give the hips a shake. And then we'll do different angles for the hands and see how that feels. Okay, let's balance this time on the left leg. Activate the zipper. When you're ready, remember there's a resistance band as you kick the right leg back. And then from here, maybe come up to the fingertips. Find the sensation of the chest reaching forward. Okay. And then maybe balance. Bring the hands together in front of the heart. And then notice how your standing leg, in this case your left leg, feels here. Okay. You can add a micro bend at the knee. In this case, I bent about 10%. And then see if you can find that sensation of rooting that left leg down as the back leg starts to kick up. Okay. And then for the hands, activate the zipper. You can keep the hands here. And then notice when we start to bring the arms out to a T. Okay. It changes the dynamics in the torso. And then notice when you start to reach the hands forward in front of the head or over the head. So there's that sensation of the hands reaching forward as your back leg kicks. Okay, hold here. Your chair is there, okay, for support if you need it. One more breath. And then as you exhale, we'll slowly release. Okay, we'll give the legs a shake. All right. This time, we'll do it without the chair. We'll take our chair away. So there are different ways to get into Warrior 3. So what we'll do is I'll show it when we are in Warrior 1. Okay. So you can bring your hands onto the hips, and then you'll just go ahead and step the right foot back. Okay. So in Warrior 1, if you've seen the previous video, so there's also that sensation of the back hip rolling forward. So essentially, you start to set up the hips already. And then from here, maybe just a slight kicking off from the back leg so that you can start to balance on the left leg. Okay. Before you lift that back leg, Notice that I'm keeping my left knee bent for balance as my right leg starts to lift up. Okay. There's still that sensation of the right hip rolling down. You can straighten the standing leg any amount. Hold here. Okay. Activate the brace. Okay. And then from here, bring the hands to where it's accessible for you to hold the pose. Maybe it's just hands in front of the heart, maybe out to a tear like an airplane. But know that once you start to reach the hands over the head, find that sensation of the hands reaching forward as the leg kicks back. And then hold here for a few cycles of breath. And then as you exhale, you can land that right foot down. Hold warrior one. Maybe bring the hands to the hips. Step the right foot forward. Give your legs a shake. Okay. So let's just balance that off. Let's take that on the other side. Okay. We'll step the left foot back. Okay. And then this time, reach the arms forward and up. So warrior one. Back hip rolls forward. Activate the brace. And then when you're ready, from here, you can start to tip forward as the back leg starts to lift up. And then find that sensation of reaching forward. Left hip rolls down as the left thigh kicks up. One more breath here. As you exhale, we'll slowly lower down. Hands reach forward and up. And then from here, you can step forward and then give the legs a shake. So I hope that was helpful for you. Know that Warrior 3 is quite challenging, especially if you add resistance band. And that will help build strength if you want to include that when you're working in this pose. So I'd like to thank you for watching. This is EverYoga by Jo and Endaya, sharing everyday yoga for everybody.